Okay, today we're doing Module 4, Exponents and Exponential Functions, N.RN.2, Level 3 Reteach. We're going to simplify each expressions. So the first thing I do is I'm going to set up my fraction. And I know that 8 goes into 24 3 times. I also know that I'm going to just leave the y to the 5th right now. And then I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to get x to the 12th and m to the negative 6. And then on the bottom, I'm just going to write x to the 3rd, m to the negative 8. So now I need to simplify. I'm going to look to see which one is smaller. So I'm going to leave the y to the 5th and the 3. The 3 is smaller than 12, so that's going to get me x to the 9th. And then I'm going to look to see which one is smaller, negative 6 or negative 8. Obviously, negative 8. Two negatives make a positive. And I'm going to get m to the second power. Now, this is not in order, so we want to put it in alphabetical order. So we want to go m to the 2nd, x to the 9th, y to the 5th, all over 3. Now, I'm going to come over here, and I notice that I can cancel out the 3's. And I also know that the 4 can go into 5. It's smaller, so I'm going to have y to the 5th. Can't do anything with that x to the 3rd, so I'm going to leave that here. And then I'm just going to distribute that across. So I'm going to have 6 to the 2nd, m to the negative 4th, and then I'm going to leave the m to the negative 5 down here. Well, 6 to the 2nd is 36. I got to see which one is smaller. Obviously, the m to the negative 5th. Two negatives make a positive. So that's going to get me just an m. And then I make sure it's in alphabetical order. And I am done. Taking a look at this one. First, I notice I could cross out the 4's. I also know I have an x to the 0. That could be crossed out. And then I need to distribute. So I'm going to have y to the negative 8, z to the 12th. And on the bottom, I have x to the negative 2 and z to the 8th. So I dislike negative exponents. So these I have to flip-flop. So when I flip-flop it, the x to the 2nd is now positive. The y to the 8th is now positive. I also notice that the 8 is smaller, so I'm going to subtract. And 12 minus 8 is 4. And there's my answer. Taking a look at the next one. This one, I noticed that I could cross out the 3's. So that's the first thing I noticed. And so I'm going to leave the 2 here. I know I need to add those y's. So I'm going to have y to the 6th. X, and then I'm going to have x to the 2nd, y to the 4th. Then I know that I need to simplify the exponents. I notice that the 4 can go into here, so I'm going to have y to the 2nd, and I notice that this one is smaller. The 1 is smaller than 2. I'm just going to have an x, so I'm going to have 2y to the 2nd over x. Taking a look at the next one, the first thing I'm going to do is distribute. So I'm going to have 3 to the 2nd, r to the 2nd, t to the 2nd. And then I'm going to have my u negative 4. Cross out that y to the 0. Then I'm going to have my r negative 1, t negative 2, u to the 7th. Now I'm ready to simplify. 3 to the 2nd is 9. I got to see which one is smaller. 2 or negative 1, obviously the negative 1, so that's going to get me r to the 3rd. Which one is smaller? And this is a positive 2, so these can just cancel out because 2 over 2. And then which one is smaller? The negative 4, so negative 4, and I'm going to get u to the 11th. Taking a look at the next one, I need to distribute to the bottom. So I'm going to have m to the negative 3rd, t to the negative 3rd, m to the negative 2nd, t to the negative 3. Now I am going to see which one is smaller, which is obviously the negative 3. Two negatives make a positive, so that's going to have an m. The t to the negative 3's cancel out, and I'm just going to have 1 over m. Taking a look at this one. Everything is raised to the 0 power, so that's a 1. And then I have 4w minus 1 to the 2nd. I dislike negative exponents, so the w goes on the top, 4y to the 2nd on the bottom. Taking a look at the next one, the first thing I want to do is reduce those whole numbers. So I could divide both of them by 5. So I'm going to have 3 over 5. I'm going to see which one is smaller, 3 or negative 2. So obviously the negative 2, two negatives make a positive. So it's m to the 5th. Then which one is smaller than negative 4? So negative, negative. That's going to get me n to the 2nd. Dislike negative exponent, so the p needs to go to the bottom. And we are done. Thanks for listening and have a fantastic day.